I've been thinking about what you've been telling about Daoism, and for myself, I kind of think I don't really mind so much how old I actually become, but the
Why not?
the point I see more is that as long as I'm living, that I have a really good quality of life.
I think most people, they have that idea that the quality of life is important. But then if you look at what people usually call the quality of life, they talk about being able to have nice food, nice clothing, nice wine, and so forth, or nice drugs or whatever, a nice wife, nice kids. And that means that they have the feeling like, when I have all these things, I have a very full life. So that is a good quality. But seen from the perspective of life, because this is actually what it's all about, is about the perspective of life, is then you have to say like, okay, it's not about the good quality of life things that I do, but the quality of life itself. It means that life really is life and not aging.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's my idea. Is closer to that, I think, having like a life that makes sense, where you're doing something useful with your life that you're given, or
well,
something like that.
It is of course important to have a life where you make the right moral choices, so that you can be satisfied with life. I this is not really like completely relevant thing, but I one time I found a rabbit when I was living in Ruigoord outside of Amsterdam, Scotland village, and I found a big rabbit with I thought it was a very big tail, like a beaver tail. And I was like, oh, that's rabbits. I didn't know anything about rabbits. I realized I'm a real city person. I went to the veterinarian with this animal, and he pulled off the tail. There's all shit which was stuck in his hair because somebody just neglected the animal.
Yeah.
But the rabbit lived for about a year with me before he died. And then at the moment when he died, you could really see that the animal was full of regret about dying. He was not like surrendering to death just like that. And the old people that I've seen dying over time, also because I did do Tibetan death training to help people transcend to the next stage in life after living, basically going either become a Buddha or become a dog or a rat or something like this. Or trying to avoid that they become that. But then also in all this process with all the dead people that you see, most people, they die with regrets.
Yeah.
Because of the things that they didn't do. And when you think about the fact that most people die with regrets, then how do you prevent that? And Chuang-Tzu said about his own wife when she died, like, okay, I never did anything wrong, so I don't have to regret anything. But the story doesn't tell if his wife actually has any regrets.
Yeah.
Right? And the thing is, at the moment when we talk about the dying process, when we want to have a full life, we can have a full life and still miss out on a lot of things. Because our idea of a full life changes when we grow older. Like, for instance, I have sometimes these elderly clients, and they are very bad in walking, or their memory goes backwards, or their potency goes away, especially with men. Very often very important, and they feel less of a person. So then their full life actually becomes very empty, because the events of their life that they always thought like these are very important, they go away.
Yeah.
So for myself, I don't know how to decide what is a good life, right? Just to be honest about that. I basically make a gamble on Daoist Neidan practice and everything that comes with it. But there's a lot of thought involved in that, in what would actually be the right way, and what would happen if there is no result at the end of your life. Right? So that's also why I make a joke about my wife being 15 years younger than me, eventually just have to walk me like a pet because I'm gone. Right?
Yeah.
But still alive as like a zombie. These are things that happen, and when you are alone in your life, like what you say about your mom, I'm not sure if it's harder or easier to grow old, because many old people, when they live together, they don't really communicate, so they also feel lonely because the other person is there.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's in the nature of our society maybe to end up being disappointed at the end of life, one way or the other.
But I think a lot of people are disappointed throughout their life, and they never. And I think that's more, if you can avoid that, you're always feeling like you don't have enough, or that things that, you know, everything is a bit of a deception.
True.
I think that seems more important to me than how long you actually live.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it's difficult to have the last word on these kind of topics, actually.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't. I'm just talking about how it feels to me. I'm not saying.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, I see my parents age, and as a Daoist, I was being told by my sister, like I was as a Dutch person, I'm a bad person because I don't automatically want to take care of my parents. And as a Taoist person, you're supposed to take care of your parents. That's not exactly true, because it's actually a Confucian value. In Taoism, you're supposed to say goodbye to your parents and all your family, and not have that being included in your life, because at the moment when you become an immortal, you include yourself into the larger picture of nature, and not in the smaller picture of family life. So you transcend basically your personal needs. At least that's the idea. But then at a certain point, because of gradually turning into whatever my sister wanted me to be, I came to my parents and I said, like, okay, you know, now you're getting older. If you want, you can come live with us, so that we can take care of you when you grow older. First thing my parents say, like, no, I don't want to live with my parents. We're so very happy that you're gone. But now they are like 5 or 6 years later, 10 years later, and they are like actually thinking like, maybe that's not such a bad idea, you know. So you see that this process continues because the situation in life becomes harder. Now, would you take your mom in house?
Sorry?
In your house?
My mom?
Yeah, to take care of her?
Yeah.
I mean, Dutch government wants that. I don't know in Australia.
Yeah, no, I would happily have my mom in my house.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much my dad.
Maybe not together. Well, he has a younger wife, so she can take care of him.
Yeah. Although
who
she
takes
has
care
lots
of
health
her?
problems.
Who takes care of her? Because then she comes into the same situation as your mom, so it's a never-ending problem.
Yeah.
Because
it is a problem. Yeah. But I do like some friends of mine in Drenthe. They have her mum living in their house. Well, it's kind of a separate section, and she doesn't get along with her mum so well. But they have been living there with her. But they actually have found a way that works quite well, and they also have a lot of babysitting happening. So that's kind of, it works two ways.
Yeah.
For the minute.
How do you feel about that, Marina?
Would I take my parents in? Well, it's a theoretical question because they've both died.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah,
as a thought experiment.
Oh yeah,
we have done that.
We would have been willing to do that. We even have been looking for houses where we could accommodate them, because my parents were, when I was about 30, 35, something like that.
Yeah.
I went back to live with my parents for a period of time because I had no proper house. And that was, we made jokes about the fact that human beings are the only parents that take back their young once they've flown the nest.
I didn't think about that.
That most other animals don't do that, hardly ever. It's not entirely true, because if you have a herd of horses, then mares that have been gone can come to the herd, but that's totally dependent on who is the leader mare and the leader stallion, and it is not something they do not come back because it is their mom who is in the herd.
They don't really have houses. That's also a big difference.
Exactly, yeah, that does make it. Well, yeah, but birds and things like that. Anyway, but my parents wanted to have their privacy without me being in their life all the time. So we needed to find a house in which that was possible. But time was faster than we were. They died before it actually had happened. We did take in our realist model, but we knew by then that she would die. Much sooner than we expected.
Yeah, this generational feeling that you talked about, I never really thought about it. I don't think anybody ever researched that.
Oh well, not real proper research, but it is a remark that goes around already for a long time.
Yeah, no, but we don't observe it. But not too long ago, we thought animals didn't have a language or didn't have feelings. And I just recently saw a video from a woman who had a lizard as a pet, and the animal was more loving than my cat, so to say.
Within science community, the feelings and the capacities for emotions in animals is a very, very, very deeply debated subject.
Well, there's a growing awareness of the fact that animals actually all are intelligent, and plants actually are intelligent and smart. So this is something that is
something that I believe too, but be prepared that there are a group of scientists that think they have evidence that proves wrong.
Yeah.
So it is a discussion. It is something I like. Well, I think it is like that. But it is not comparable to human life. But it's something different. It doesn't mean that they don't have it.
Yeah. Well, there's different circumstances in life, so you have different emotions. And the idea of the Oriental College program is to show that different cultures already have different emotions. So if you're trained as a Daoist or you're trained as a Christian, the way how you feel, you might still have sadness, but your sadness is maybe about different things. Right? So the fact that there is sadness present doesn't mean that sadness in one culture or another culture is the same. Would you agree with it? With that also?
Yes.
That's a mouthful, yes.
It's similar enough that you can use translated words. We know.
But you can recognize the feeling. But you cannot maybe not recognize the reason why somebody is sad about that.
Sure. Yeah.
You might not understand the reason, like the perception of guilt between, for example, when we have this meeting is wrong. But for him, he said very clearly that guilt was a concept that in history didn't exist. And the difference about, I think although that's maybe not real emotion, the idea of karma and how you perceive that is so different in different cultures. But at least we are raised as Christians. It's very difficult. It's rather difficult to understand really how our cultures perceive karma is very normal.
Interesting conversation like this. Okay. I think because we also want to do some exercise, maybe we should cut the conversation a little bit short today. Otherwise, I'm sure we're going to talk for the whole hour about this. I'm okay with that if you want, but.
Well, I do also have a question to you first keep on, but it might also be quite a long story, so I don't know.
Okay, no, let's go continue with the story then. Let me first stop this recording.